So, how many of you have a job that requires you to sit down for a prolonged amount of time? I imagine most of you. And what is one thing that people always seem to point out when you're sitting for a very long time, or even maybe you point out to yourself? Well, if you haven't thought of it, it's posture. So I want you to take your time right now to really think about your posture right now. Maybe reverse that banana backed posture you have. And I'm sure maybe you already have done this. You looked up, you maybe sat up a little straighter, rolled your shoulders back and down, pulling those blades back. Now, what if I told you this only addresses half of our posture? Our posture relates to our upper body and lower body, involving the entire spine. So we don't really do much in regards to our lower body posture, right? We have maybe lumbar support, lumbar pillows. We might put on a back brace, but we don't put on like shoulder braces or put on comfy pillows for our upper body. So why are we so passive about addressing our lower body posture than we do with our upper body posture? Well, today I would like to talk about an exercise that I think will help improve our lower body posture and my credibility as a former experienced personal trainer. I have found that the exercise, the bridge, is one of the most versatile exercises out in the rehabilitation and fitness world. This exercise not only uh, addresses, uh, not even just addresses, but it holds everything that counteracts the actions of sitting. So I will demonstrate right now through a video what that exercise looks like. Let's see. So here we have the bridge exercise. If you don't like sitting down, great, because it's an exercise that is on the floor. So making sure you lay down, as we see in this picture, bringing your knees up to the sky and hands down by your sides. From there, you'll press through your feet and lift your hips up into the air as far as you can without flaring your ribs, and then gently lower yourself back to the ground. So, this exercise, I'm going to bring it back a little bit. This exercise holds the ability to counteract, as I mentioned, the effects of sitting down. And how does that happen? So, first, we have to understand that our body adapts to what we do. It is so good at adapting at what you do all the time. So, in this case, sitting down, right? Our body, if we're always sitting down week after week, hour after hour, your body's going to start developing the best ways to be so efficient at sitting down. So things that happen are our glutes. Our glutes don't engage. Take a moment now and think about engaging your glutes right now as you sit down. I'll do that with you. So as I engage, my body jumps up a little bit because I'm activating them. They're engaged. But when you sit down and you're trying to be efficient at sitting down, they're not engaged, right? One other thing is our hip flexors. On my screen here, if you look, my cursor's kind of going around. The hip flexors are right here in front of your upper thighs. And the hip flexors are your upper thighs and the muscles that connect uh, through your hips. Specifically, though, these hip flexors connect to your lower spine. That part that we talked about, the lower posture, right? So as you're sitting down, your muscles in that position, your hip flexors, are in a shortened position and they become very engaged and tight because that's the most efficient when it comes to sitting down. In this bridge exercise, we can see that we don't have them flexed, but we're actually doing the opposite. We're stretching them out. So we're doing the exact opposite of what these muscles would be doing sitting down with this exercise, engaging your glutes and stretching out those hip flexors. And those are two muscle groups that you should be feeling when you do this exercise. uh, but now let's talk about how can we actually make this a more effective exercise? Because there has been a lot of research with this specific exercise, with the versatility it has. And according to some PubMed researchers and analytical analyses, they found that the that's not what I wanted. Oh, so they found that the bridge exercise actually is most effective at utilizing your glutes and stretching out your quads when your feet, your lower legs here, are at a perpendicular to the floor. They found that this had more glute engagement by a lot. So just by making the small adjustments, and typically how you would do this is as you lay down, you'd want to bring your uh, hands down and then bring your heels to about to your fingertips, and then you just kind of walk them out a little bit. From there, before you start this exercise, there's one thing we do want to engage, and I want to make sure that we engage this thing called the anterior pelvic tilt. So before you lift up off the ground, you're going to want to make sure that your hips, you'll have a little space when you're laying there between your lower back and the floor. You're going to want to make sure that you tuck your hips away from the floor, bringing that lower back onto the ground. That's how you make sure you have your glutes engaged at the start of this exercise. And that's also going to help in making sure that you don't use any ribs or upper body in this exercise, which is not what we want. We just want the lower body part going up. Tip number 2 is to also think about as you're doing that pelvic tilt, is you think about pinching a penny and between your booty cheeks. And maybe a penny's not like incentivized enough. Maybe you need that $100 bill or even just like a credit card. I don't know. Use your imagination. But something goes between your booty cheeks, thinking about clamping, squeezing them as you rotate your hips up and pulling them up. And then one more tip about this exercise is making sure that when you're pressing through your feet, we want about an 80% power pressing through your heels, and then we want about 20% pressing through your big toe or your toes. That's going to help with making sure that you're activating those glutes while also making sure that you're stabilizing your lower leg. So one more thing I do want to leave you guys today with is one more exercise that also helps with this exercise and also with your lower body posture in general. So over here, the Well-Equipped channel on YouTube has a bunch of physiotherapists, which are great. I couldn't find one where they're laying down. This is a video of them standing up, but it's the same principle of what you want to do on the floor. So these are called pelvic rocks. And essentially, kind of going upon what I said earlier and how you tuck your pelvis, notice how there's space between the floor and there. She arches a lot. That's how you start. And then as you only go as far as you can without exhibiting any pain, and then you just bring it right back down and close that gap. And then you repeat as many times as you want. This is definitely a great exercise to incorporate as well. That's simple, doesn't require a lot of effort, but it's going to do wonders for your lower body posture. So, to recap, we have whole body posture. We want to make sure that we address not just our upper body, but our lower body as well, making sure we do that with our bridge exercise, pressing our feet down in the ground, doing that anterior pelvic tilt, squeezing those booty cheeks up, feeling your glutes engage, feeling the front of your thighs stretch, and that will help you and anyone else you know with helping in regards to your lower body posture. Thank you. Have a good day.